Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Southpaw's Tales from the Barstool. You might see something a little bit different, and that is the absence of my beautiful co-host. My wife, Kat, unfortunately has very, very bad case of bronchitis right now, so she had to sit this one out. It's going to be the first time I've ever done the show solo. It's kind of giving me anxiety. I'm probably going to fuck everything up because she's kind of the glue that holds this together. So everybody send Kat your prayers and wishes and stuff that she gets better soon. Although she's a lot stronger in illness than I am, I'm always a whiny bitch, and she's taking it like a fucking champ. So, yeah, it's unfortunate she can't be here. So if you are joining us tonight on Facebook, make sure that you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Give them permission to see your name. That's the only thing that they get to see. They don't get to do anything else, collect your data or sell it or any of that shit. So that's a no-go. Just go there. That way I can see who's commenting. Tonight we welcome back, it was our first guest ever, Dr. Rob Garcia. He's been a longtime friend. He's like I said, he's a doctor. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's an Air Force veteran. He's a fucking god. Lowercase g, of course, because I'm not a blasphemer. So we'll be bringing him on shortly. If you want to check out some of the old episodes, including his first one, make sure you go check out our YouTube channel. You can also find us at Southpaw's Tales from the Barstool on any of your favorite podcasting platforms. We're on like 24 of them, so you can find us just about anywhere. Don't forget to like and share this so that other people can enjoy this shit show. Tonight, man, I'm so bummed that Kat can't be here, but tonight we're going to be doing, I call it a Kentucky Russian. I've never had it before, but I'm going to make it. It's similar to a White Russian, but instead of the Kahlua or coffee liqueur, my sister got me this bottle of Buffalo Trace bourbon cream, and it's fucking delicious. So I'm going to it just sounded good. So, got my rocks glass right here. We're going to start with 1 ounce of 22 Salute vodka with a They are not a paid sponsor, but this bottle of vodka has earned a permanent spot on my bar because not only is the mission fucking awesome, but the vodka is fucking awesome. I'm not even a vodka drinker, and I like this. It's starting. Well, saying is I've had this bottle for like a week and it's already almost gone. That should say something. I'm not an alcoholic. I am an alcoholic. But yeah, 1 ounce of that, 1 ounce of the bourbon cream from Buffalo Trace. If you like Irish coffee, this is definitely some good stuff. And then finally, top it off with some milk or cream if you don't like milk. I don't know if this is going to taste good. I've never made one of these, so we're about to find out. But this is a Kentucky Russian. Oh yeah. That is the stuff. Yeah, get yourself some 22 Salute vodka and some bourbon cream and some milk. It's fucking life-changing. That's all I'm going to say about that. So right before we bring Dr. Rob on, let me go ahead and get through all the sponsors, the ones who make this shit show possible. I really wish Kat was here to help me out with this. I'm going to cry. So our first sponsor, as always, is 5x5 Brewing Company. They're a Battle-born, Texas-made veteran brewing company based in Mission, Texas, co-founded by Army veteran George Rice. With beers like the 40mm Stout, Brunette Bombshell, and Fubar, it's no surprise this this brewery has taken over the Texas market from the Valley all the way to the Panhandle. They're supposed to be going national by the end of the year, so kudos to them for doing that. Ask your local bar, restaurant, or grocer to start carrying 5x5 Brewing today. You can find out more information about them at 5x5brewing.com, facebook.com/5x5brewing, 956-445-5421 is where you can call them or email them at info@5x5brewing.com. Another sponsor is going to be OMOG Construction, founded by Marine vet Seth Knox and his buddy Matt Anders. They're general contractors serving the greater Houston area with a focus on concrete. No job too big or too small, from residential and commercial to industrial foundations and pads. OMOG Construction has you covered. You can find them at omogco.com. That's omaco.com. Facebook.com/OMOGCO, or Instagram OMOGCO. That stands for One Mexican, One Wedo. For those of you that don't know, Wedo is Spanish slang for white dude. So it's a Mexican and white dude construction. Fantastic fucking concrete jobs. I wish I could afford to have them put some stuff on my house, but unfortunately That's not in the cards for me. Our next sponsor for the night is going to be Quickstart Mortgage, powered by Uverse. It is founded by Nathan Einkorn. You can get a hold of him at Einkorn. That's Neinkorn at the letter U, mortgage.com. You can call them at 720-980-9988. Facebook at Quickstart Mortgage Group, and Instagram, Colorado Mortgage Broker. And my words aren't fucking working. But essentially, it's the convenience of an online lender with only better rates and dedicated staff of highly trained mortgage brokers to make sure your mortgage process goes smoothly. They're also found Jesus, stop, cut, and go. Okay, they're also part of the vetted VA, which just means that they know VA loans backwards, forwards, and if you have VA benefits, they're going to square you away. And the last sponsor for the night is actually our guest for the night, who is also our first guest ever. But it's a Shift Advanced Life Design magazine, which I love because I've been featured in it 3 times because, I'm a badass and their magazine's a badass, and that's how things work. Badasses go with badasses. But the entire staff is all Air Force. You can find all kinds of badass entrepreneurial advice, interviews, resources, networking, all that stuff. But it's Robert Garcia founded it. It's a great business or a great magazine to follow. You can go to shiftlifedesign.com, and that's where you find it. And finally, our editing and distribution done by Knucklehead Media Group at Knucklehead MG on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and knuckleheadagency.com. And that's where you go. And let's get this shit going. What's up, Mr. Rob?
JD, can I tell you how much I love that intro? Holy shit. You got through it, man. And you did fine. And thank you for the nice things you said about me, about Shift Magazine, everything. I'm super excited for this. And before we get into it, let's just give a shout out to 22 Salute, because that is what I am drinking tonight. I am having a fancy Air Force lemon drop. I have a blood red orange and lime garnish because that's how we roll here in San Diego.
Dude, that's fancy. That's the only word I can think of. Yeah, so yeah.
It's epic.
We're drink twinsies.
22salute.com. Eric Ranks is the greatest sponsor I've ever had, and he's a stellar human being. I just wrote a press release about him tonight. He is such an amazing guy. He never served. His dad was a Vietnam vet, and he started a nonprofit to help veterans because he saw veterans that weren't being treated well by the VA. So giant shout out Eric Ranks for 22 Salute. Incredible company.
Yeah, he doesn't sponsor us. This is actually the second episode in a row that we've featured the 22 Salute. It's not sponsored. He's not paying us. He's not asking us to do this. It's just really good shit, and I love the mission behind it.
Yeah.
And like I said in the beginning, like, I'm really not even a vodka drinker, and this stuff has definitely got my attention.
There we go. Let me adjust the crazy lighting. I'm not an Instagram influencer, so I don't have all the fancy gear. There we go. I look a little more human. All right.
So, you know how you've been on the show before, basically how it goes. For those of you who are just tuning in, when we do have guests on and they're industry leaders, business owners, anything like that, they're not here to sell their latest book, their latest service, their latest product. We're here to find out who they are off the clock, behind the scenes, under the influence. But we do give them an opportunity at the very beginning to sell their wares. Outside of that, no fucking shop talk. So, Rob, the next 3 minutes is yours to talk about Shift or anything else you want to talk about.
Copy all. Jesus, no pressure. All right. For those of you that don't know me, I am a visibility strategist, which means a PR rep on steroids. I write press releases. I own Shift Advanced Life Design magazine. Here we go with U.S. Marine Corps vet Michael Penny. And I will help you to become a highly visible industry leader through the use of magazine articles, business articles, press releases, media outreach. I was able to get 2 of my clients on the news last week. I've gotten 12 people on the news in my career. I will help you to become a business celebrity. Just reach out if you have any questions. That's my pitch.
Man, that was quick, down and dirty. That's awesome.
I'll fuck around, JD. Come on.
Yeah, you got that elevator pitch, just like.
So, real quick, shout out to Kat Tierney. So sorry she can't be on the show tonight. I hope you got a chicken soup for her, taking care of her, man, because she is the life and blood of this show. To be honest, she
really like. When we first started this show 3 years ago, I had no clue how we were gonna do and play well or not play well on the air live. It was kind of a weird experiment for the house, and having her to be part of this podcast is probably the only reason it's lasted as long as it has. Definitely couldn't do it without her, and I'm not kidding when I say it really bums me out to do a show without her. So she's upstairs. I took her meds right before I came downstairs to do this. It was a long day today, man. I haven't even gotten in home mode yet. I got to the house like 17 minutes before we were on the air.
Dude, I appreciate that so much, honestly. I know what it feels like, man. I had someone call me this morning super early, and they didn't like preface it with anything. They just called me across Messenger, which I really hate. I always tell people, look, text me first. I don't even pick up for family. I am that cold. It's San Diego. So, right. So an East Coast call comes in at like 7:30 or 8, and I'm still in my underwear. I'm still like cooking eggs and shit, just trying to start my fucking day. And I was really mad when I saw it. And then I reached out like an hour later, because this is another vet. This is a great guy. And I just reached out and I said, please text me first. That's all, man. I love you to death. I don't want to be a dick, but I hate unannounced phone calls, especially over Messenger. It makes like 3 things in my fucking apartment start ringing, and it makes me insane. I'm slightly autistic. I hate ringtones, for fuck's sake.
Do you have like a smart house where everything's linked together?
I've usually got 3 computers on my phone at the same time. So like a Messenger call, holy shit, 3 things will start ringing. I'll be like confused and shit. Like, what the fuck's happening? And yeah, it irritates the shit out of me.
I've been added to so many Messenger groups where all these people, they talk like 13-year-old girls text. So yeah. My Messenger is all my notifications are completely turned off. Like, I don't know if I have anything until I actually check my messages in Messenger. So if you've messaged me and I didn't get back to you, that's why, because you can blame all the other assholes that just talk too fucking much.
Yeah. I put my phone to silent a lot of times. I'm starting to realize the importance of time blocking. I did get back to that guy because he's awesome. We had a talk, and he said something that was like going to bring me business. And so I'm glad I took it. And I've reached a point, JD, where I have to be a lot more stringent with my time, because I have so many people. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or sound fucking self-important. But I'm at the point now where I'm having 15 to 20 conversations a day, and I got to fucking just chill out a little bit and focus on like the client stuff. It's great. Trust me. When you first met me, when we first talked, I remember I was in the North Park apartment up the street. I was in the street with my phone talking to you for the first time, hearing about your Air Force career. I love that. Oh, I'm going to ruin his fucking soul just for Kat. But it was such a different time, and I'll tell you, I would much rather be deluged with people versus having nothing, like having no contact, like nobody giving a shit about what I do. And it means that I'm doing it right. It means that I'm doing attraction marketing. It means that I've cut the Russian, if you know Rocky IV. Remember that when he's fighting Drago and he's just shit beat out of him, and then finally he hits him, he connects, and he fucking drew blood. And you're
like, if he dies, he dies.
Yeah, exactly. And the announcer screams out, he's cut the Russian. And that's a business euphemism. It means you've hit a tipping point, as Malcolm Gladwell will say. I haven't drank enough if I can quote Malcolm Gladwell, but you've hit the tipping point to where your business does not need ads. It does not need like any type of artificial shit to lure people into you. I'm all about word of mouth and referrals, but I've worked my ass off to get there, especially in 2023. But sorry, I'm talking shop.
Dude, honestly, like we haven't done business together in quite a while outside of, you're sponsoring the show. I essentially closed my business down about 2 years ago, just shy of 2 years ago. And
you took a hiatus.
But I still push the shit out of you just because of all the coaches and mentors and everybody else that I dealt with. You're the one that actually literally put your money where your mouth was. You spent money out of your pocket to get my product in front of larger name celebrities and like with the American Badass, when like you went above and beyond what anybody else ever did, and that's something that stuck with me forever. So until the day I die, I want to be pushing Dr. Rob when it comes to visibility, period.
That means a lot, man. And I gotta say, like, my first two businesses failed hard. And I had a skateboarding company and I had a life coaching company before I became Dr. Rob, like before I became the warrior strategist. And Southpaw there was never any fundamental flaws in it. It was a very high quality product, but you and I had to learn. You and I had to we were both ascending at the same time, starting off at the same time and just trying to figure out how to run a fucking business. And I was trying to run service-based. You were trying to run goods-based. And I still had two of your hats, like in my corner. I break out once in a while because I don't want to I only break them out for certain. I want to keep it as long as I can. I love Southpaw and it's going to come back. I don't give a shit what anyone says. And now, God damn it, I'm Luke Skywalker with a fucking green lightsaber. And I will blow up Southpaw in so many fucking ways. So, dude, when it comes back, and it will be the #1 veteran hat company. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
I'm doing it again on the side, but it's definitely a side hustle. Even though I'm working for the man again, dude, my stress level is so much lower.
Yeah.
And now that I can use like anything that Southpaw gets, that's just used as fun, or not just fun money. Like Southpaw paid for mining Cat's glasses last year, and just it's extra side money. And I definitely want to do that again. And I would like to get to the point where I could hire one or two just commission sales type people. That way they're doing the sales. If it gets to the point where I can't do the production, farm that out. But unless it's netting me like 7 figures a fucking year for 5 years straight, I'm not leaving my job like that. And I love my job. I work at a steel mill now. Like I make lava. I mean, it's fucking cool. I'm burned all the time. I'm dirty all the time, but it's no 2 days are the same. And it's a constant adrenaline rush.
I love that. And, I've hit the fucking ground a few times, and for those of you that don't know me, and JD, can we give a shout out to everybody in comments real quick? Because I just checked the comment section and it's everybody that we fucking love.
Yeah, we got Mark Dudek in here. We got Wade Saxon with Smoking Bacon, which Wade, I need to get a hold of you so we can get on there. I've dropped the ball like too many fucking times. Hopefully you'll forgive me for that. But yeah, we need to make that shit happen.
Wade just did a great interview with James Fu Torres, another veteran, and I was glad to see those guys linking up. It was a very weird pairing, but glad to see it. So yeah, Mark Dudek, the hardscape hacker, and Brandon Harris, who just started a cigar company in Houston, like a mobile events company. So we're promoting that Shift Magazine. But just want to give a shout out to everybody watching this. Thank you guys for all the support. Like I could not be Rob the Warrior Strategist without all you guys, your support and your love.
So I'm going to say something about Mark real quick, and then we're off the shop talk. We're going to get to the train wrecks and the toilet humor. Oh, yeah. But Mark Dudek, that's MarkDudek. Hey, Mark, can you put in the comments your link for your new hardscaping classes that you've got? Because I bought it. It's $47, and we're going to do some badass shit in our backyard. Hardscaping, if you don't know what that is, it's like really fancy stone landscaping for your yard. He can explain it way better than me, but
outdoor permanent landscaping to increase the value of your home. And Mark is
the return on investment for hardscaping versus anything else that you're going to do, especially outdoors. Hardscaping has the highest return on investment if you're trying to sell your house later on or anything like that. So Mark is your man. The dude he's a master at his craft. You got to check out his shit. Like if I could,
stone pathways, lagoons, get cat in a bikini in the lagoon, one of Mark's lagoons. Holy shit.
Dude, I'll get cat in a bikini anywhere I fucking can. Hey, man, dude, we've been together 20 years and every time I get to see your boobs, I'm still like, yes, boobs.
Dude, I still don't know that you scored a chick that hot, to be honest with you. I think you're a hypnotist or something. I mean, I've done okay in my day, but I just see you and Kat together. I'm just like, fuck, that's the life.
Man, I've just kept her really medicated for 20 years. I mean, how else does a 6 fucking land at 9?
Lots of booze and low bad eyesight is my formula.
So you mentioned it earlier that you're in San Diego, Southern California. I actually lived there when I was like real young. My dad was in Coronado, and I vaguely remember. Mainly, I just remember the bridge going over the bay, and I remember being going to some Padres games when I was real young. But that's about it. But outside of that, I have like these stereotypical views of California.
Stop watching.
Basically what we get. And I'm sure you've got some very stereotypical views of Texas where we're at. And so I kind of just want to go, the differences in culture, the differences in the way we think, the way we do things as residents of our local area. Because everybody knows California is, crazy lefties and blah, blah, blah. And everybody knows Texas is, riding horses and shooting 6-shooters, which there's nothing wrong with either one of those. But
let's jump into it, man. So I've lived in both, but I was born and raised in California. I was born and raised in Humboldt County, which is a small logging town. But the funniest part is that I was actually raised around a lot of cowboys. Eureka is nothing but loggers, cowboys, rodeos, and then Arcata, where HSU is like full of hippies. And I was a skateboarder. My mom was a hippie. So it's a very weird place, and it's the Emerald Triangle. So there's a lot of pot, a lot of drugs. I left.
Geographically, where is that? It's at like northern, I would assume.
It is one of the most northwestern towns in California on the coast. So it's a small fishing / logging town, a cluster of like 4 small towns. And it's like a Stephen King novel, bro. It's like when you go back to like 92, you step in, you're just like, what the fuck? Like the Target is the most modern building there is.
It's Shermer, Illinois.
And the jail. So I joined the Air Force at 21. And Air Force, as you know, basic training's in San Antonio. So I spent a good minute in Texas. Basic training was San Antonio. Then my first tech school was Wichita Falls. So I had some time in Texas, and it was great. So I got to learn some of the local culture. And then my active duty station was Shreveport, Louisiana, which is like, I'm going to get beaten up for this, but East Texas, pretty much.
It's right across the border, but yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 hours from Dallas. And so we would go to Dallas. We'd go to Deep Ellum to go party because we're stupid. I would go to Tyler, Texas. My God. In one of the bars in Tyler, Texas, I met a girl that looked like a young Britney Spears. And
what year was this?
99, 2000.
Okay, so Kat and I actually lived in Tyler. That's where Kat did her respiratory therapy school, was at the college in Tyler.
Nice.
And I'm sure you've heard us talk about the house that we lived in that was like super fucking haunted. It was in Tyler, or just right outside of Tyler.
That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, I dated a girl that looked like a young Britney Spears. I met her at some crazy place in Tyler. I have a great degree of respect for Texas. And I think when people get super hemmed up talking shit about states they don't live in, I think they're watching too much Fox News. Because Fox News, and I don't want to get political, I don't want to get heavy, but I'll just say, if you're focused on states you don't live in, you're not focusing on the important shit, regardless of where you live. You're not focusing on your family. You're not focusing on your spouse. You're not focusing on your job. You're not focusing on your income. And so when I hear all this hate from California or Texas or whatever, readjust your priorities. You shouldn't give a shit. Enjoy where you're at. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the experience of being you.
It's fun. I used to be one of those super angry political people, and it wasn't that I was political. It's just I was angry at the way I saw things going and not being able to do anything about it. Yeah. And then especially when right around the time frame when everybody was going to Facebook from MySpace, and you didn't realize that there were trolls out there that would get you going on purpose. Yeah. And I would just go off and do these fucking huge diatribes. And finally it got to the point where it's like I was just tired of being angry all the time. And I call it my 3-foot bubble. If it's not my 3-foot bubble, then fuck it. It still comes back and gets me sometimes, but I try to just focus on my 3-foot bubble. My 3-foot bubble is my home, my work, my bank account. And if it doesn't affect those, then fuck it.
I think it's a great way to look at it. And like I said, I lived in both places. I had a hell of a good time in Texas. And the one area that Texas will take on nearly everybody is barbecue. They will not fuck around. I had some of the best food I've ever had in Texas.
Do you know that there's I think it's 7 different styles of barbecue just in the state of Texas?
Yes.
And of those styles, Texas took 5 of the top 10 spots of national barbecue.
I believe it. And my last relationship, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. My last relationship was with a girl from Texas, and she was brilliant. She was awesome, and she was amazing. It didn't work out, and that's okay. But I'm just going to say, I liked a lot of her characteristics. She had a lot of great qualities, and I loved that she was from Texas because she was very into her family. She was very into morals. She was very smart. She was a fucking great person. And it just, there were reasons it didn't work out, and that's okay. Probably all my fault. I'll say it. But I'll just say Texas girls are badass because they're a lot more down to earth. They're a lot easier to talk to. I have a lot of great things to say about the country of Texas. And I say
damn right.
Very
damn right. Now, it's funny you say that about the Texas girls though, is I used to do the singer-songwriter circuit in like the hill country in South Texas, trying to chase that dream of being a musician before I realized that, that shit ain't ever going to happen. But one of the things I'd always say during my set, if you're in love with a Texas girl, raise your glass. If you're not, raise your standards.
Whew. That's a smooth line. Good for you. I agree. I have never met a girl from Texas that I dated that I didn't respect an amazing amount. And Texas itself, this is the first difference between the two. If you're from Texas, you're ready to die for Texas. California, not. Right. I like California. But I am not hardcore committed to it. Whereas Texans are like Hezbollah. Like they are ready to fucking mount up, grab some guns, and die for the Republic. And
do you know why that is? And I had to explain this to one of my coworkers because the steel mill that I work at, a lot of the people came from Indiana, where the home base of this company is. And they're like, fuck Texas, y'all are too proud, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, do me a favor. What is Indiana's origin story? What is California's origin story? Outside of the original 13 colonies in Texas, there's really not a storied origin for each state. And that's why Texas has so much pride, is because everything that it went through to be what it is today.
Texas celebrates its history.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's required in elementary, junior high, and high school Texas history classes.
I respect the hell out of that. and I can respect taking pride in things for sure. The level of admirations that Texans have, and if you watch what's it called, American Sniper, there's one line where Bradley Cooper goes into the Navy recruiter's office, and the recruiter's trying to talk him out of being a SEAL. He says the hardest thing you're ever going to do. It's, you know, the equivalent of special forces. It's an insane program. And Bradley Cooper just looks him at the eye and says, "I'm from Texas, sir. We don't quit." And I was like, oof.
I think rural Texas kind of embodies the older morals and the older culture of, you know, when somebody shakes your hand, you stand up. You never shake somebody's hand sitting down. Like that stuff you're taught from it's yes, ma'am, no, sir. Yeah. And rural Texas, or just outside of Austin, Houston, and Dallas, that's everybody. And that's just how it is. And, you know, I have people older than me and younger than me saying yes, sir, no, sir, because that's how everybody here was raised. And I know a lot of other people were around the country, but it's just overwhelmingly that way. And it stays that way. You know, I'm not a cowboy. You know, I'm partly country. You know, my family's got land. I've stretched barbed wire. You know, but I'm not a fucking cowboy, and I'm never going to claim to be a fucking cowboy. But that mentality is definitely ingrained in the culture here. And I like being able to, like, outside of, okay, I'm going to say some nice stuff about California before I say anything negative about California. California, I used to spend all my summers in Lemoore, which is central California, about an hour north of Bakersfield, half hour south of Fresno, like that area. A lot of dairy farms out there. But from there, it was great because you're only 4 hours from Disneyland. You're 4 hours from the Sequoias. You're 2 hours from Pismo Beach. Like, it was like perfectly located. And California by far has some of the best landscapes across the entire fucking nation. Like, if you haven't seen the Sequoias in person, like, we've all seen it in Return of the Jedi, you know, with the Ewoks. We've all seen it on TV. We've all seen it in the movies. But if you haven't seen it in person, if you haven't driven through a tree, you haven't experienced it. If you haven't experienced Pismo Beach or shit, 90% of the beaches in LA County right there on the coast, or San Diego, like some of the most gorgeous beaches you're going to get. Water's cold as fuck, but absolutely gorgeous. Just, and anywhere in the smaller city or smaller towns, smaller cities, everybody there is the same way we are in Texas, as far as minus the accent. You know, nobody says y'all there. They look at you weird when you say y'all. But outside of that, the mentality and the culture is very similar as far as the respect to other people. To some degree, the politics is very similar. And then you get to the cities, and that's when you deal with the oh, I don't know what happened to Rob. I'm flying solo. Like, totally solo, because my beautiful wife isn't here. I hope he comes back. Yep, there he is. Whoop. What the hell happened?
Sorry, man. Did I just blink out?
Yeah.
I took a screenshot. I apologize. I didn't realize it was going to, like, blink me out.
I was like, where did Rob go? I was like, I was really worried about having to finish the show by myself.
No, sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that. You were waxing eloquent about California and about some of the great features of it. So I grew up in the Redwoods. I grew up in exactly what you're talking about. California will destroy any other city in America scenic wise. We have the best beaches. I don't care what anyone says. I will put any beach in America up against, like, Mission Beach, Pacific Beach. If
Are you including Hawaii in that, or just continental?
Yes.
Bold. That's a bold statement.
I will if I could do it without being beaten or arrested, I would take pictures of Pacific Beach and the ladies that live there. I will put them up against anybody, anywhere. Okay. San Diego has some of the most beautiful women, first of all, and the greatest beaches ever. And I'm 15 minutes away from the beach. I mean, there are many things about California that aren't super great, and you can list them off. I mean, there's so many things that people are complaining about. First thing's the cost. Yes, it is one of the most expensive places to live in the country, but it's still like third or fourth on the list behind Manhattan, San Francisco, a few other places. But I don't complain about it. You never hear me complaining about the cost of living in Southern California. Why? I chose this life. And if you're complaining about how much stuff costs, start an income stream, start your own company, make some more money. Okay. I don't have a lot of sympathy for you if you spend your money on stupid shit and then you complain about where you live. Period. Dot. What if you spend money on the stupid, JD?
Oh, Kat and I spend entirely too much money on Halloween shit.
No. I would say worth it because it's fun. It is okay to spend money on fun shit that makes you laugh.
And hibachi. Hibachi is my guilty pleasure. Like, we eat there entirely too much.
Oh, I thought you meant like a little grill, like the actual
restaurant. No. Like going to eat hibachi. Like, that is, even though I have a Blackstone flat top and I cook my own hibachi, but sometimes it's nice for other people to cook it for
you. Isn't hibachi that place where they make the little volcano for you?
Yeah.
Tricks, and they flip a fish in your fucking wife's mouth or something.
Yeah, crazy. But they got that big griddle and they're cooking the vegetables, the rice, the meats, everything all at once. And I've tried probably 6 times to make that onion volcano, and all I've done is make a fucking mess and singe my beard hair.
Don't emulate the pros, first of all. I think they go to fucking hibachi school for that shit. All right. So don't try and recreate the magic. Just don't. It's an experience. We got something here called Benihana. I need to check that shit out. But getting back to California and Texas, there are, like I said, there are good and bad of living either state. But I was born in California. I think it's an amazing place. I came back after my active duty service. I created this crazy life. My life was like the fucking Twilight Zone, to be honest. I failed out of high school. I failed out of 2 colleges. There's no reason I should be in my dream apartment in like a nice area of San Diego, just doing whatever the fuck I want to do every single day, JD. And I am grateful every fucking day. I wake up, I'm like, holy shit, this is my life. I should be working in a bowling alley. And just the fact that I get to work with my friends, help other veterans, and help people advance their businesses for some shit that I taught myself, I didn't go to school for, is a blessing from God, the universe, Cthulhu, whoever. And I am eternally grateful.
Cthulhu, man, that's a whole nother conversation right there.
I'm just saying it's not lost on me how great my life is. And every day, dude, I will never take this for granted. I am so fucking happy with my life every day. And I hope everybody has a sliver of happiness or achieves some degree of happiness in their life to where they can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
That's pretty goddamn deep. That's way deeper than I usually go. I know there's a lot of dead air right now, but I'm just kind of absorbing like all of that real quick.
We live like kings.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure. Oh my God. I couldn't imagine living there on my income though, versus living here on my income. Cause we live like kings here by comparison. Like, I have a 3,100 square foot, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2 living rooms, fireplace, big yard, gigantic fucking oak trees that tower over the house. And I paid well under $300,000 for it. And I saw something the other day on the news, and it was the 5 least expensive houses in Los Angeles. And they were all listed at $399.
So don't compare LA to San Diego, first of all.
But just California, like just LA. So let's just take LA, just that subsect. The cheapest house on the market is $400,000, almost a $500,000 for a 2-bedroom that was 800 square foot. Like, holy shit. And there was bars on the windows and bars on the doors. Like, this isn't even a nice fucking house.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so foreign to me to think that that's even possible.
It's demand, though. You have to remember, like, prices adjust according to demand and where people live. And that's why I haven't bought property. I wouldn't buy property in San Diego, but I'll be a dirty renter and have that flexibility to do whatever I fucking want to do. And dude, you have to remember though, also, I live alone. I don't have kids. I'm just supporting my stupid ass. And I have an apartment with a spiral staircase, tall ass ceilings, like floor to ceiling windows, New York style. And trust me, I am happy as a pig in shit. Like, I absolutely never expected to have shit like this when I was a little kid. I was like, dude, I didn't even know if I'm going to go to college. And my life every day is I'm so grateful for it, honestly. So appreciate what you have. I mean, that's it.
Oh, man, Kat and I were actually having a conversation last week about we were like, remember when we were younger and we were like, man, if we can just make $50,000 between the two of us, you imagine how badass it's gonna be?
Yeah.
And then it was, man, if I could break 60 grand by myself, you realize how badass that's gonna be? Oh man, dude. Man, can you imagine both of us making, 100,000 combined? How badass it's gonna be? And it's like we keep that checkered flag keeps getting pushed farther and farther and farther, and we're still fucking broke. We make so much more money than we used to, but man, we're always doing shit, like especially with the kids, like going to baseball games and going on day trips, like vacations. And
but you know what? You're investing in your kids. You're investing in your future. You're investing in something great. And being able, and I'm not trying to get too fucking heavy on this, but being able to give your kids a great childhood without spoiling them is a hell of an experience. That is part of the parenting experience. I don't have kids. I had a pretty bad childhood. I'm not going to say horrible. I wasn't abused. I was neglected for sure. But the fact that your kids are going to grow up and say, hey, our parents took care of us. They stayed together. They gave us experiences. I remember all this shit. We went on vacation, all this stuff. Your kids are going to fondly look back on what you and Kat did for them.
They're going to fondly look back on it after we finish paying for all their therapy sessions, because I'm pretty sure that we fucked them up somewhere. Like, actually, I'm more than pretty sure. I'm fucking certain that somehow we fucked each one of these kids up.
I'm just saying, they grew up in a house. They grew up with two parents. That's rare these days. And don't fucking overlook how important that is. I moved 16 times in my childhood. 16 in the same town between like first grade and 11th grade. And it was fucking traumatic, dude. And sorry, I'm not trying to get fucking heavy. Like, we're trying to keep this light. But I appreciate what you and Kat do for your kids because they have stability. And that's going to make them better people.
I sure the fuck hope so. Like, I think, honestly, like, that is, I used to fear a lot of stupid shit. And then I used to fear like some really legit shit. But my biggest fear now is like that my kids are way better than what I was or what I am. And that I'm not fucking them up somehow. And that they succeed. And they don't fucking hate me at some point, which I know they're gonna hate me. We all go through that phase, but that's definitely the biggest fear is just making sure that they're set up.
I'll tell you, they might hate you in their teens and they'll appreciate you in their 20s. And dude, I had so much anger at my mom through my 20s for so many reasons. And when I hit my 30s, I started to understand. I'm like, okay, she went through this, this, and this. Maybe there's a reason that she turned to some drugs or became an alcoholic or all this different stuff. I mean, she had me at 21, for fuck's sake, and she went through a lot of things in her childhood, horrible shit. And when you get older, you get wisdom, you get perspective. Your kids are gonna appreciate you and Kat so much, dude.
I hope so. Like, man, this whole conversation went way different than I expected to. But I appreciate it though, because it's organic. It's not planned. Like I like the way it's turning out. So I went into it with a plan and it just completely went the completely opposite direction, which is that's fucking life in general. That's how it always works out. And I don't mind getting deep and heavy, especially, if that's where it takes us, that's where it takes us. And I'll just change the title of the podcast for this episode later on. Fuck it.
Rob breaks down the show. Shitty childhood.
Yeah, JD can't accomplish shit solo. Where the fuck is Kat? Man, okay, let's get back on the California Texas thing. And again, I want to steer clear of any of the politics and that shit. But one of the things that outside of loving everything about Texas, that I love about Texas over California is I can go shoot whenever the fuck I want. Pretty much, I can just call up a friend and be like, hey, can I come over and shoot for a while? Because we have so much of our friends have land and lots of land, or we have land, I hunt hog and deer and rabbit out of my mom's place. I don't always shoot stuff, but I can go hunting. But I can just go shoot. I mean, shit, we had a landowner donate 140 acres to my veteran organization. It's not in our name, but we kind of have like a lifetime lease of that property. 80 acres of it was quarry. So we turned that quarry into a shooting range. So now we have rifle ranges, long rifle ranges, 325 yards, pistol ranges, skeet and trap. And this is all just like, hey, let's go shoot, guys. And then we're barbecuing and drinking and I have, 30 round magazines, 100 round drums, all that shit that you can't have in California. We're like open carry rifles, open carry pistols, doesn't fucking matter. I mean, do I do stupid shit like that? No, but I have the ability to.
I drove out with the Texas girl. I drove out with a bunch of Marines she worked with, and we went out in a shooting expedition. And I remember I have an old picture I put on Facebook of me holding a pistol like this by the handle. And it was hilarious. Wearing an Air Force t-shirt because, run with it. But we had to drive out like 3 hours into the fucking desert. It was probably 95, maybe over 100. It was ridiculous conditions. The guy in charge of it was a former Marine, so he gave a safety brief before we started. And those guys pulled out guns I've never fucking seen. And we were pulling out like metal targets, all kinds of shit. We were shooting in a junkyard in a fucking mountain, and it was like a ghetto shooting range. But it was very fun. It was a good time. But I like the fact that some states are a lot more lenient on gun ownership and supportive of it, because California's gun laws are ridiculous. They are fucking crazy, and I feel like gun laws only hurt legal gun owners. That's how I feel. And I'm a Californian. I don't have traditional views that the average person would think. I love guns. I think they're fucking awesome. They're fun to shoot. They are, if you have a good instructor and you have good people to shoot with, it's a great bonding experience. For people that are like completely anti-gun, go fucking shoot one. Go try it out. Shit.
Go take a class. That's the biggest thing is if you've never shot a gun, go to a legit gun range where they rent guns, they have instructors, and go through it and learn safely. Like, because like here in Texas, like I think I shot my first 12 gauge at like 9 or 10 years old, and it fucking put me on my ass because the gun was taller than I was.
It's a good lesson though.
And I was shooting a 22 when I was younger, probably the age of my youngest kid right now. It's, and all of my kids have fired guns, but it's like standing there right next to them, They're learning the safety first. They're learning never point at anything you're not willing to destroy. The number one rule is every gun is a loaded gun, whether it's loaded or not. And I think if that was carried across and everybody took their fucking politics out of it,
yeah,
I think it would be a lot better in the long run.
I think so too. And I don't have a problem. I think there should be a merit or a point system to where if somebody's a former LEO or former military, they should have points towards buying a certain type of gun. I don't think everyone should have the right to buy an AR unless they qualify, to be honest. High capacity magazine, shit like that, like crazy shit. I know I just lost some fans with that one. I don't give a fuck. I am all for people that don't have criminal records or domestics in their fucking record, getting whatever gun they want. Don't get me wrong. And I don't believe in taking guns or any shit like that. I just feel like we need to clamp down on people that are selling them on the black market. That's really where a lot of problems come
from. But define black market. If I sold a gun to you because you wanted it, I didn't want that one anymore. Is that considered black market? See, and there's
registered.
That's a very slippery slope going down that road as far as legalities go and legislation goes.
So
if it were up to me, I could buy a fucking tank and a fucking F-15 if I had the money. Like, in my mind, it's very clear, shall not be infringed. I want to be able to have everything my government has to protect myself from them, because that's essentially what the Second Amendment's all about. It's not about hunting. It's not about anything else. It's about protecting yourself, protecting your property, and protecting your family.
Absolutely. So here's the answer. Came to me real quick after a couple of vodkas. The answer is you should have to pay for my background check. If I pass it, good to go. There's too many people fucking selling guns willy-nilly to lunatics. If you're going to sell it to me, you file a piece of paper with the government. You say, hey, Garcia passed the background check. Here's the copy. Good to go. No problem.
But then that creates a de facto registry.
Why shouldn't we have a registry? To a point.
Why does anybody need to know what I own?
They don't need to know everything you own. So maybe we need to treat it like pit bulls, to where there's just an added degree of responsibility for certain types.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No. So you and I aren't going to agree on all this, and we're not going to. We can carry on this conversation forever. And I love a good, healthy debate, especially when there's no name calling and there's none of that shit going back and forth. Like we obviously respect each other, respect each other's opinions. But I want to steer it back off the politics, because that's not what this show is about. We're about dick and fart jokes, and you and I being chair force. What the fuck do we know about guns, right?
You're more qualified than I am, because you're AFSC. I'll say that.
Yeah, I know a thing or two because I shot a thing or two, right? Dude, the coolest thing about qualifying on some of the weapons I got to qualify on was at Camp Bullis outside of San Antonio. They have that's where you qualify on like the different machine guns, the law rockets, like the shoulder fired rockets and shit like that. And all they have, it's just a giant fucking field filled with old train cars and fire trucks and boats and bread vans, and all you do is you just fucking unload on them. That is probably the funnest several days of my life, is just going through thousands of rounds, just destroying cars. Like, I wish I could do that again. There's actually a ranch in Texas where they've done all the paperwork with the government, their FFL paperwork, and you can go and rent and shoot a tank, like live round fucking tanks and fully automatic weapons. It's not fucking cheap. Otherwise, I'd have already been there. But yeah, there's a ranch in Texas where you can go and do that.
Vegas has some crazy fucking gun programs where you can go shoot off like 50 cals, like all these crazy fucking guns, and they'll set up all these wild targets. I guess in Vietnam, you can fire rocket launchers at cows. Like there are some really wild experiences out there. And it's just, it is an amazing experience that a lot of people should have. And I'm going to answer Wade Saxton's question, caliber and concealability. Anyway.
Oh, wait. What was the question? I'm going through it.
Semi-automatic pistol and semi-automatic AR-15. And I'm not a gun guy, for fuck's sake. Like I'm not. I think if you have no record, like no criminal record, and I think if you're a veteran or a cop, you can go get any fucking gun you want. I don't give a shit what kind. I don't care if you have a fucking machine gun outside of your house.
Amen.
I'm all for lawful gun ownership, for fucking sure, and especially for veterans and cops, because they've been trained in it and they have discipline.
I mean, do we really have discipline?
I'm saying I trust cops and military a lot more than the average fucking dipshit that didn't serve, to be honest, or a fucking paintballer.
Airsofters, the ones. Dude, those airsoft guns are fucking ridiculous, though. We got one for my son, and it's an AR-15. It's the same weight, same dimensions. Like, if it didn't have the orange tip on it, like, you would never know unless you, like, actually opened up the bolt and looked. Like, it is legit. I'm like, holy fuck. Someone's going to do something stupid. They're going to fuck around and find out with one of them things.
They have in the past, man. People spray painting airsoft guns and paintball guns and shit, and just leads to bad stuff.
So what else is a huge difference between California and Texas outside of the stuff that we've already listed?
Yeah, we talked about the pride. We talked about the ladies. We talked about
hamburgers.
What's that?
What do y'all have? Y'all have what? Carl's Jr. is y'all's burger joint? Or In-N-Out?
In-N-Out is
trash.
California's. Have you had one?
It's fucking garbage.
Have you had one?
Yes.
Okay. At least okay. If you've had one and say it's trash,
In-N-Out does have really good fries though.
Fuck, I was just gonna say the fries are garbage.
What?
Put those goddamn cardboard fries against like a Wendy's or a Burger King.
But the thing about their fries, at least when I went there, like they're made like ka-chunk. They fucking cut the potato right there and fucking fry them up. There's no preservatives and all that other shit. It was fresh as fuck.
Okay, fresh made. I just don't like the size of them. I think they're tiny. I'm just not a fan. I think a protein style In-N-Out burger might be the best burger I've ever had, short of a Wendy's like double stack.
Dude, no, fucking Whataburger all the way. Whataburger was actually, there was an article that came out I guess about a month and a half ago. Whataburger has the healthiest cheeseburger for any chain restaurant in America. Nice. So we got that going for us.
Nice.
See, and even Mark agrees that Whataburger with 3 exclamation points behind it. Wade's talking about White Castle. I have never had White Castle. I want to have it. I have buddies that are from up north they just rave about it, and I just don't understand the whole like ordering 17 burgers. Like, why not just make a burger size burger?
JD, I gotta ask a favor.
Yeah,
can you cut me loose for like 60 seconds?
Actually, we got to start wrapping it up anyways. It's already that time, so
the vodka's going right through me, man.
So perfect timing anyways, because we do have to wrap it up. Thank you all for watching or listening to us on Southpaw's Tales from the Barstool. I am sorry my beautiful wife did not get to join us tonight. She'll be back with us next week. She better fucking be back with us. This is a hard show to carry by yourself. Fuck. Rob, thank you for being on. Thank you all for watching. You have any final words?
No, I just want to say, appreciate wherever you're at, whether it's California, Texas, wherever you're at in this great country. Appreciate it.
So yeah, everything that was said was all in fun today. Everybody should love where they're at. If not, get the fuck out. That's Just keep it simple. Love where you're at or get the fuck out. But with that, we're going to call it a night. If you're out drinking or you plan on going out to drink, please make sure you find a sober ride home. Stay where you're at. Uber, call a friend, call me if you're in the local area. I'll definitely come and get you. But we love you guys, and we'll see y'all next week.